From my heart, you hear the words I say. Two halves make a perfect home. From my dreams to right here with me. This is a timeless romance, and I'll be yours forever. Your strength through any weather. And will you be forever mine and be my always? This love will hold the test of time. Will you be forever mine and be my always? The first and last one I love, I'll be forever mine. With love I guide, and we'll follow through it all. In your hand, I'll never let it go. The stars above have led me to your side. Now I know that dreams can come true.
Well, I want to welcome everyone here. What a gorgeous day. And as they were coming down the aisle, what a gorgeous group of people up here on the stage with me. So people can go ahead and be seated. We're here today to witness a sacred ceremony, the union of Lucy and Eli. It's with great regard we come here and celebrate their love and the devotion shared by these two as they stand here before us. We're really blessed that everyone's here, family and friends, especially through some travails. This was scheduled a year ago, and through COVID and the recent heat wave, and some people got in on crazy flights late, and somehow we all made it here to witness this wonderful occasion. The rite of marriage is an ancient institution and an important ritual where partners solemnly declare their intent to remain together for the rest of their days. I went out to breakfast with Lucy and Eli, and we were talking a little bit about marriage and sort of the meaning of it. They enter into this with a sense of gravitas for the promise that they're making here today, but also a great sense of joy and celebration. As I spent time with this couple, it's remarkable to me how caring and how safe their relationship feels. How much I just get a sense that they really care and have a great deal of compassion for one another. And it's just a blessing that we're all here and able to witness this public expression of their commitment. And moving on to that, Lucy and Eli, I will now invite you to express your vows to one another. Face each other a little more if you would. And then as you declare these vows before the presence of family and friends in the entire universe, I'll share the microphone with you. Here.
All right. Eli, lover, darling of my heart, I never thought I would say this about that nerdy guy in my sophomore psychology class, but I'm so happy to be marrying you. I know that neither of us believes in heaven, and I think that's because no heaven could ever be as joyful as being on earth with you. I can't possibly know what the future holds, if circumstance or growing out of love or high school psychology will do us part before death does. I can't stand before you and pretend that I know better than all the other wide-eyed, star-crossed 20-somethings who made vows only to break them. But I can promise to support your dreams, even when they require sacrifice. I promise to love you, even when you don't love yourself. I promise that the happiest day of my life won't be today. It'll be 5 or 10 or 20 years from now, when I get to say, this is my husband, Eli. This is what you have to cry too. I promise to work on our relationship, to compromise, to listen to your perspective. I promise to not just grow old together, but to grow together as time and experience change us both. I think that the opposite of sadness isn't happiness, it's contentment. And while it doesn't sound quite as good to say, you make me so content, it's the truth. I love you so exactly as you are. I love that the person you would have lunch with, living or dead, is Barack Obama. I love that you make me laugh, even on the days that are hell. I love that I could spend literally 24 hours a day, 7 days a week during a global crisis in a 500 square foot apartment and still say, the only thing that I'll miss when life goes back to normal is getting to spend all day with Eli. I love that you support my ambitions and believe that I am capable of anything. I love that the first time we went on vacation without Luna, you wrote 3 pages, single-spaced, of instructions for our roommates. I love that you treat those around you with empathy and kindness, that you don't believe that you're better than anyone else. I love that you are earnest and competent. I love that you don't take life too seriously. I love that I'm never late to the party if I'm late to the party with you. I'm so excited to be a family with you and to take this next step and every next step by your side. The end.
What? Lucy, I love you so much. I love you so much that it's hard to put it all into one declaration. I love that you laugh at my good jokes and you workshop the bad ones. I love that you share your every intimate thought with me in near real time. But most of all, I love that whether we're exploring the world or locked inside in a pandemic or just going for a walk over lunch, no matter what we're doing or where we are, I just love to be there with you. See, she was smart. She did one sheet. I vow to live a rich life with you. I vow to make the big decisions and the small decisions with you. I vow to make big decisions like adopting dogs, quitting our jobs, and raising a family. I vow to make small decisions like making a budget, picking out a movie, and cooking dinner. I vow to encourage you and support you every day to be the best version of yourself, the version you keep chasing, just like you encourage me to do the same. And I promise to be there for you through thick and thin. I promise to be there for you through the winter blackouts, on the red-eye flights, and after a really hard day of work. But I also promise to be there for you on the good days, at the mountain summits, at games with friends, and on the lazy summer nights. I'll be there for you on the good days and the bad days, on the cloudy weeks that test our sanity, and the sunny weeks that make it all worth it. Because every day with you is a treasure I'll never forget.
Right on. I asked Eli a couple days ago, I asked them if they had written their vows down. We were walking through this, and Eli said, no. And then Lucy read her vows, and I was like, man, he's really in deep water if he didn't write his vows down. Now we come to the declaration of intent. Lucy and Eli, please join hands with one another, and under the eyes of these witnesses here, Lucy, please repeat after me. Lucy, do you take Eli to be your lawfully wedded husband? Oh, wait, that's my part. Hold on. You just, never mind. I know where I am now. Lucy, do you take Eli to be your lawfully wedded husband? Do you promise to support him completely and love him unconditionally as long as you both shall live?
I do.
Wow, she leaned over and I was like, I screwed it up worse. She was going to say, this is not going to happen again. Okay. Eli, do you take Lucy to be your lawfully wedded wife? Do you promise to support her completely and love her unconditionally as long as you both shall live?
I do.
Very well. I have that written down. It's now time to exchange the rings. The circle that's formed by the rings is a symbol of love and commitment to each other. I hope that these rings forever remind you of the promises you've made to each other here today in the company of your family and friends. Eli, you will go first.
Still have it, right?
Yes. Please repeat after me as you place the ring on the hand of your loved one. I, Eli, give you, Lucy, this ring as a symbol of my love and commitment.
I, Eli, give you, Lucy, this ring as a sign of my love and commitment. Are you right?
Yep.
Cool.
And the vows we have made today.
And the vows we have made today.
With this ring, I thee wed.
With this ring, I thee wed.
Lucy, please repeat after me.
Please repeat after me.
Okay, I'm going to read the whole thing, so she has to memorize it then, if she's going to mess with me here. I, Lucy, give you, Eli, this ring as a symbol of my love and commitment and the eternal vows we've made today.
I, Lucy, give you, Eli, this ring as a sign of my eternal commitment and the vows we have made today.
That was pretty close. That was pretty close, yeah.
Man.
No, that was great. With this ring, I thee wed.
With this ring, I thee wed.
By the power vested in me by the mighty state of Oregon, I now pronounce you married.
Will you be forever mine? Be my always.
All right.
This
Save that
love
for the
will
rim.
hold the test
All right.
of time. First and last one I love, be forever mine. The only thing that lasts, we fit so perfectly. You're all that ever matters, and only you and me. Will you be forever mine? And be my always, the first and last one I love. Will you be forever mine? Be my always, this love will hold the test of time. Oh, will you be forever mine? Be my always, the first and last one I love, be forever mine.
Hello, folks. Thank you. Thank you so much. My name is Ty Wyman. For today, father of the bride. We are going to thank you. Thank you very much. It was quite an accomplishment. Those 26 years ago. So if you've never been to a wedding before, we're going to do a few toasts. And I'm going to kick it off, as they say. And, you know, I've thought about this for a solid 10 or 15 minutes. No, I've thought about this a bit. And, you know, it really has occurred to me over the last few days just how much half of life really is showing up. I don't know how many times I say that in my professional life, truly believe it. And it would be, all of you today have done just that for us, for the combined Wyman-Voigt family. And we just could not possibly thank you enough for coming out. As my brother John, I want to extend my appreciation to John for officiating today. Thank you, John. As John mentioned, we have had folks come over hill and dale and through the air and in various precarious circumstances, but we're all here. And you know, what a beautiful ceremony. I mean, that's about all that I can say about that, is that we all saw it. Two people truly love one another, and that is so gratifying for us all. But the reflection that I would add is, of course, if half of life is just showing up, then what's the other half? I struggle with that, and I've seen Eli and Lucy for the last 6 years, particularly over the last, 16, 17 months that we've all endured. And we've endured this level of social disruption that's unprecedented in any of our lives. And in watching Lucy and Eli persevere through that, I would just express to you my profound appreciation, and I think really the appreciation of everyone who knows you, for the joy that you have shared with all of us, for the love that you have shared with all of us, but most of all, for the hope, for that sense of hope that you give us all on this day. We love you very much. To Lucy and Eli.
So, growing up as Lucy's younger brother meant simultaneously having some pretty big shoes to fill, but also having a very well-paved path laid out in front of me. I still remember when I was entering high school, I was not told to introduce myself as Teddy, but rather as Lucy's brother. The first time that a teacher said, "I don't know who that is," I had to go off script and say, "Well, okay, I'm Teddy." We often led relatively divergent lifestyles. I still remember how throughout high school, Lucy would wake up, practice piano, feed the dog, walk the dog, eat breakfast, get to school on time, go to soccer practice, come home, eat dinner, do her homework, day in and day out. I would wake up about 15 minutes before the late bell was set to ring, and I would do the homework that was due second period in the little 5-minute gap between first and second period. It feels almost too obvious to say that there's a very limited number of people who we can decide, yeah, I'm going to dedicate an amount of energy and time within my life to this person, to have them be a part of my life. We can meet a lot of people who are highly successful, infectiously charismatic, deeply kind and caring, and extremely intelligent, and who, in a word, are simply wonderful people. But there's some kind of varying, intangible quality about them that just tells us that they are not someone who we are necessarily always going to have in our life forever and always. It's not always something that is calculable, but it's a feeling that you feel and you know it to be true, that that person is just not your person. With Lucy, there was always an unspoken understanding and empathy that let me know that no matter what, she was someone who I was always really happy to have in my life. That even when standing in the shadow of a giant, I never felt daunted or uncomfortable. Rather, I felt guided and like I always had someone who was on my side. She makes me want to be a better person, but not because I feel at all inadequate, as I might when surrounded by a lot of other extremely accomplished people, but rather because when I am with her, I feel like I am my best self. I feel like it's easy for me to simply be accepted. There are a lot of people who on paper can make up the qualities of a great person, and I could go on and on about how Lucy has all of those qualities, but that wouldn't necessarily make her any more unique per se than the other people who have those qualities who are not in my life. And so what does set her apart is the fact that when I am around her, it is that feeling. It is not something that I can necessarily derive logically or mathematically, but rather it is just the knowledge that I am happy, that I am with someone who I should be around, and that I have someone who is on my side unconditionally, because that is what there are very, very few people who can fulfill within your life. I'm so happy that she has found Eli and that he has observed the same thing that I have, which is that Lucy is the kind of person that you want to be around forever. I love you both and wish you the best going forward.
Eat the mic, okay. I wasn't going to do a toast, but then I remembered the first conversation I ever had with Lucy. She came over to our house. The kids used to come over to our house after school because we only live a few blocks from Cleveland, and our basement became the hangout spot for all the kids. And it made Eli, I'm going to start crying. It made Eli so happy, and it made him feel so accepted that all the kids would come and hang out at our house, and we loved having them. And one of the first conversations that I ever had with Lucy is she came over and she brought baked goods, and she came 15 minutes early so that she could talk to us and introduce herself. And she told us that she really appreciated our hospitality, and she really liked Eli. And she acknowledged that he worked really hard in school, and she said that she didn't think the other kids realized how hard he worked, but she did. And she thought he was really cool. And I thought, damn, girl. For a first conversation with somebody's parents, you are crushing it. And then she took her cookies and she went downstairs to play with the other kids. And I thought, that's the kind of girl I want my son to marry. I'm so glad you did. I love you guys. And I'm glad you still like to come over and play at our house.
Wow, Marcy, that was excellent. As one of those kids that visited that basement, I have to echo the sentiments. Yeah, that was fantastic. So my name is Sam. I'm a high school friend of both Eli and Lucy's. I actually met Eli a few years earlier in middle school when we were in like science class together. We made some really silly, stupid videos that we posted on YouTube, and we like to play video games and just be nerdy dudes. It was a very, very awkward time. And then shortly after I met Lucy in high school, we kind of ran with the same crew. A lot of probably the most tame high schoolers you can imagine. We didn't really opt for like alcohol or parties or anything. We just kind of did homework. Yeah, homework, parks, you know. But I have always immediately clicked with both of these people. And from Eli, I see just an unwavering calm, somebody who's always been there for me with a kind word and a joke. Always a perfectly timed joke. No, yeah. And from Lucy, I see somebody who has just an excellent exuberance for life and really sees the value of good people and good friends and has always surrounded herself with such people.
Like Sam.
Thank you. So I resonate so much with both of you guys. And I cannot wait to see what the next steps are for you guys and what you guys accomplish together. So please join me, raising a glass. Cheers.
Hi, everyone. I am Mackenzie. Lucy and I met actually in Joni's kindergarten class when we were 5 years old at Dunaway Elementary School. So it does feel very special to be here today on her wedding day to Eli. I was also at Cleveland with them. I was also not that cool, but I didn't hang out in basements. But I just have so many memories of me and Lucy walking through our neighborhood in Eastmoreland, talking about everything we wanted from life and all of the dreams we had and how we imagined our lives unfolding. And those moments were so beautiful because everything seemed possible and the whole world was open to us. And I think a wedding, especially this wedding right now, is so special because it's a similar moment in time. And as you get older, those moments feel few and far between, where the whole world is open to us and anything can happen. And I think as we've seen in the past year and a half, that's not always a good thing, but it is always a special thing. And as I look at Lucy and Eli, and their paths are now converging, and they're building a beautiful life together, and anything and everything good is possible in that life that they are now building together. And I think we all see that in them, and I think we all carry that a little bit as well, of a reminder that in special moments in time, the universe is open to us. The universe is leading us to something wonderful and good. And I am just so happy to share that with them today. So thank you.
Hi, I'm Sasha. I've also known Lucy for a long time and Eli since middle school. We have not always been the closest friends. In fact, sometimes I've been quite rude to Eli, so I'm grateful that y'all let me sit up here anyways. Thank you. There are not two people really other than these two that I would spend an entire week of my life driving around, doing whatever random stuff they wanted me to do. And I am so happy that you both got married to each other on the same day, so I only had to do this once. Like Teddy, I find that you two are people that I trust, that even if you moved across the country, even if we all get busy and stop seeing each other all the time, like, I know that you guys would do anything for me, just like I would do anything for you. And that is very rare to have in friends. Thank you so much for all of the joy that you bring to all of these people. I don't even know this many people, and you got all of them in a room to celebrate you. Like, that's people love you guys because you're the best. I wrote a card that was much more succinct than this, so I'm just gonna let you read that later and give up this microphone to the next person. I love you guys.
So everyone else has been, or maybe I'll take the mask off too. Maybe you can hear me. Everyone else has been saying some nice words about my friends here, Eli and Lucy, who I have known since college and who've been my roommates multiple times. But, nice words are just so cliche. So I figured I would do the second most cliche thing, like the clever guy I am here, and do more of a roast here. Yeah, so a main punching bag here is going to be my friend Eli. But the main problem here is that, where do I even start with this guy? Am I right? You know? But seriously, where? Like bottom up or something? Like with his toes, maybe. Let's go with his toes. Everyone, look at this guy. Look at his toes. Okay. Okay. So he's wearing shoes, I guess, because he is at a wedding, and I guess that's appropriate attire. And they're very nice shoes. But this is a roast, so I'm not going to talk about his nice shoes. In fact, we're just going to talk about his toes. And if you have seen them, you know, maybe you just imagine them. But for those who have seen them, they are nothing to write home to mother about, let me tell you. You know, they're probably really not even worth mentioning in any sort of speech, especially not one given to a lot of people in public. And if anybody did make such a rudimentary mistake, they would probably, it'd be really prudent for them to move on to like a different body part, a way more interesting body part, really fast. So I'm probably just gonna move upward, I guess. Maybe like his ankles, his knees. Those are actually pretty good, actually. Maybe actually we're mixed company here, so I'm gonna skip that one. And maybe just move up to that sweet little face of his. Those doe eyes, those little rosy cheeks. They're rosy, right? Good. Okay, because the next part of my roast actually depends on your cheeks being a little bit rosy. So yeah, give him a little pinch. And okay, are you ready for this? Hey friend, need to borrow some sunscreen? Because it looks like you've just been a little bit roasted. Thank you. But seriously now, Eli, you're a great guy, and there really isn't a whole lot I can nitpick about you. You got it all. you got the charm, you got the humor, but you got that serious dark inner layer, you know, that everyone needs. And now you have Lucy, and I'm so happy that you guys were able to figure it out and get past all of your many problems and figure out a way to stay together. So yeah, I think you guys will be very happy for a very long time, and I wish you the best of luck. Cheers.